please welcome to the stage Dimitris Geragas, Global Practice Lead for Data and Market Analytics at Gartner.
Never before in the history of the world have digital and analytical capabilities held such power, such promise, and such potential to change people's lives. We now have the tools and approaches that only a few years ago were in the realm of science fiction. AI, ML, RPA, cloud, IoT, these are the building blocks of the world. They allow us to digitally capture and represent the environment around us, to understand its realities, and to predict its future states. And never before have digital and analytical capabilities been in such demand. The very nature of the business is changing. The new business models require that organizations be highly responsive to change, exhibit wide situational awareness, operate over broad ecosystems, take advantage of fine granular opportunities, business moments, and operate over diverse touchpoints. And along with this business change, the expectations of what technology can do for the business is changing as well. Let's take the example of data and analytics. I have been doing data analytics across all industries for over a quarter of a century, and I have witnessed its evolution. It started as a mere reporting mechanism. All it did was that it told us the things we already knew. It told us what happened in the past. But then little by little, it became an enabler. It helped deliver the same business results, but now more efficiently, with less cost and in less time. And then very rapidly, it became an enhancer. It helped improve those business results. It helped increase revenue, capture market share. And finally, we're at a state where data and analytics is transforming the business. It helps deploy the new business models. Today, the modern digital and analytical capabilities are the business. Through them, organizations achieve their competitive advantage and sustain their innovation. This is our time. For us, the scientists, the engineers, and the developers that work together to provide and use these capabilities, opportunities abound and expectations run high. But this also means that for all of us, the pressure is on. Life is getting harder, more complex. There are two mega trends that affect us. Both of them are shifts. The first is the shift from deliberate to emergent design, and the second is the shift from centralization to decentralization. I'm a premium consultant, so I tend to use fancy terms to describe even simple things because that's what makes people comfortable paying my rates. But if I could be colloquial with you, all I'm saying is that the world changes faster and is spread out further. So let's talk about the concept of emergent design. Realize this: the speed of change will never be as slow as it is now. Everything will change faster and will be more dynamic. We will have less time to think, less time to plan, and less time to react. I remember a time not that long ago when it took 8 months, a year and a half really, to deploy a single ERP system, and that was done only after months and months of planning and deliberation. We agonized to collect requirements and build a system that was fully optimized to satisfy just those. And then we locked the system down. Any change to it, any new requirement, took us 3 months on average. Nowadays, we cannot afford to do this. The world changes too quickly. We cannot take what amounts to be a lifetime in business terms to develop and deploy new capabilities. Moreover, we cannot afford to have rigid systems optimized just for a single thing. We need systems flexible enough that they can accommodate unanticipated use cases. What the business wants today is not the same it will want tomorrow. And then, of course, there's decentralization. Everything is all over the place. Where our data gets created, where our data gets used, where the business takes place, where the partners are, where our enemies are, where the money comes from, where the resources are, even where we work from and the systems we use, everything is spread out. To meet the needs of the business and fulfill our potential while accommodating for the adversity of the two megatrends, we need something new. We need what Gartner calls the digital business platform. The digital business platform is not a thing, rather it is many things. It includes technology, but it's not exclusively a technological construct. It is a framework that gives us the means to bring together a broad community, to deploy digital capabilities, and do so for a single purpose, that of business benefit. The digital platform forms the rubric that connects our customers, our ecosystems, our devices, and our traditional systems, all of them in a meaningful way through the power of data and analytics. So we need to build something new. But we also have to realize that we have to build it the right way. For our digital platform to be successful, we need to build it on three pillars: those of literacy, technical capabilities, and culture and skills. But before I address each of these pillars, I'm going to suggest something to you. That OpenEarth is this platform that was built on those pillars. Think of OpenEarth at its most foundational level. It connects the business and the consumers with the capabilities to a broad ecosystems. It exposes data and streams of data. It enhances it through technical systems and provides advanced analytical capabilities. And think of the base of OpenEarth. It manifests the three pillars. Clearly, it provides the tech capabilities, the PaaS, the DevOps, the source code. It provides literacy, as it is entailed within governance. And lastly, all of it together is in place to foster culture and community. So let's take these three pillars of success one by one. Literacy. The reason we care about literacy is because it's only through literacy that we can guarantee the meaningful engagement of everybody who participates in generating value and everybody who receives this value. Literacy is about your bosses being able to communicate to you what they want, the problems that they would like to be fixed, you being able to communicate with each other on how to solve those problems, and lastly, about you being able to communicate back to your bosses about what it is that you have done towards solving those problems. And the essence of communication is a cohesive story. I'm a data and analytics professional. Again, I wholeheartedly believe that nothing is ever about the numbers. My job as an executive is to tell stories, not make up stories, but to tell the story of the numbers. So we need stories, but we are all too many and too different. Some of us are engineers, some of us are scientists, some of us are developers. And even within these broad categorizations, we come from a variety of backgrounds, and we each use our own vernaculars. Some are junior. Some of us come from the business, others from IT. Many are males, many are females. All of us taken together are legion. In order to tell stories and be understood, we need to have a common language, a common vocabulary that bridges our differences. This base vocabulary needs at a minimum to express three things. First of all, it needs to convey the value that we are trying to achieve. We need to be able to commonly agree what is the problem we're trying to tackle. Many times, business people hold unrealistic expectations about the value they desire. And many times, technical people confuse value with solutions. A solution has the potential to provide value, but a solution on its own is not value. Our common vocabulary about value needs to entail terms about outcomes, risks, expectations, limitations, and trade-offs. We also need a common vocabulary to describe information. We need to know how to originate it, what happened to it, who held it, and who is going to use it where for what purpose. Our common vocabulary about information needs to entail terms about trust, quality, management, preparation, manipulation, and delivery. And lastly, we need the common vocabulary to describe what we're doing with this information, how we process it, to what end, and with what limitations. Our common vocabulary about analytics entails terms about authority, use, ethics, of course, analysis, statistics, and a lot of math. But we need to be very careful. So many times we witness organizations where the technical people, the implementers, complain about the lack of literacy from their bosses or from their business. They feel that the business, their bosses, are the others, and they're being vague, nonsensical, while they, as technical people, are specific. They feel that the others care about the wrong things while they care about the right things. The need for literacy goes both ways. We all need to be respectful and accommodating. We need to realize that what we hold valuable and important is not what they hold valuable and important. Walking into a room full of business people and proudly exclaiming that you just deployed a data deduplication algorithm is the fastest way to make enemies. Because all they hear is that you're spending money, their money. But imagine instead, through the value of storytelling, that you walk into the same room and you start your story by saying, I deployed this data deduplication algorithm. And because I did that, this data set is going to improve in quality. And because of that, you, business person, you will be able to execute an aspect of your business a bit faster or a bit cheaper, or maybe you will be able to do your job a lot better. Then we move on to technical capabilities, the second pillar. The reason we care about technical capabilities is simply that only through them can we achieve the required agility to tackle the scale and complexity of the world we're dealing with. But let's take a step back. All the value we generate is based on us crunching numbers, using and analyzing data. Every dollar spent, it's a dollar spent on either managing data and preparing it for use, or on using data and analyzing it. This is all that we do. And Gartner believes that the best way to improve your analytics is to improve the data that the analytics rely on. Yes, better data result in better analytics. Give me crappy data, and no matter how good I am, no matter how hard I try, no matter what computational power I have available, no matter what tools I can deploy, the outcome will be correspondingly crappy. So that's what's in the heart of any technical capability, to get us the data that we need. Today, especially with the advent of machine learning, the most important data that we need are really the ones we don't have. Individually or while operating in silos, we tend to have only half of the data that we require to conduct advanced forms of analytics, like prescriptive, predictive, or automation analytics. And it makes sense. I'm going to stay away from your industry. So let's imagine we're a healthcare organization. If you're a healthcare organization, then naturally we know a lot about being sick. But to train those algorithms that they can predict how healthy people get sick, we also need to figure out, we need data about what it means to be healthy. If we're in law enforcement, we know a lot about criminals, but not enough about innocent people. So our platform, the one I spoke of earlier, needs to provide each one of us the ability to get other people's data. Our platform also needs to give us access to emerging capabilities to integrate and analyze the data it is exposing. It needs to give us access to APIs to get data, provision for IoT to collect information about devices. It needs to support MES apps and services architecture to ensure its multi-experience. It needs to give us access to AI and ML methods and frameworks to train and deploy algorithms, and support augmented data discovery and virtual assistants, maybe eventually, to simplify our work. And all of it needs to be on the cloud, so we can all access it. Now, our cloud-enabled platform can be simple, and we can use it to only increase performance and scale. It can help us run pieces of code faster or run things bigger. Or our platform can be more advanced, and it can contribute towards increased productivity. It can help us do things better, reach value faster. And finally, the Holy Grail. Our cloud-based platform can be a direct enabler to our jobs. A platform where we don't need to do anything custom. We don't have to worry about it. We just get to use it. And it's here through full SaaS and DaaS exposed through APIs that we are achieving agility. But in addition to those previous value-add capabilities, our platform needs to provide those secondary technical capabilities, those things that nobody really wants to do, but all of us have to do. The necessary evil. Things like provisioning to set things up, management to eliminate waste. Well, somebody needs to worry about backup and disaster recovery, and clearly security compliance so we don't go to jail. Packaging, monitoring, inventorying, servicing. If our platform provides those, then we don't have to worry about them. We can be focused, more productive, while at the same time being confident that we're not being wasteful. And lastly, our platform needs to accommodate a spectrum, a continuum of developers. We cannot be monolithic anymore about what we mean by developer. Traditional developers, what we call the professional developers, will continue to exist. They will have to exist. They're critical to our platform, and without them, our platform will collapse, but they cannot exist in isolation. Nowadays, developers are everywhere. And many times, the most creative developers, not the most efficient developers, I'll admit to that, but the most creative, are people who work directly for the business. They do things differently. They don't write code. They just point and click. They use visualizations. If they're good, maybe they'll kludge data together. And for those reasons, professional developers make fun of them, but realize that while they don't write code, they're very good at framing and solving problems, and that's what we expect from developers. Our platform needs to be able to provide the technical capabilities to accommodate this diversity of developers, which is a serendipitous and admittedly planned segue to culture and skills. The reason we care about culture and skills is because they're the drivers of innovation. Our platform needs to bring people together. The ability to cater and support diverse roles results in better performance and outcomes across the board. Higher productivity, less errors, increased morale, faster ability to incorporate new ideas, better new ideas, and of course, better, faster decision making. So our platform needs to support and be supported by a community. But for this diverse community to operate with cohesion, as an army, not as a mob, it needs to be guided by shared values so that its members can move together and tackle common goals. So we need shared values about autonomy, about how we make decisions, about purpose, how we accomplish things, and lastly, about mastery. What do we value and how do we grow? Shared values are critical, but on their own, they are not enough. In addition to shared values, this diverse community needs common ways of working in order to increase efficiency and reduce waste. Our platform needs to support the community through common design methods, common development practices, definitely common governance and standards, and of course, common learning. If we don't have these ways of working, we will only be working past each other. In the end, the truth is that the only way for a decentralized and diverse group of people to operate productively is to have a center. Decentralization does not entail the absence of a center. In reality, successful decentralization requires, demands the presence of a center. Admittedly, it is a smaller, softer center, but is a center nevertheless, and it serves critical functions. It provides strategic alignment so we can all work together towards common goals. It promotes common principles to instill an identity. It drives coordination and supports collaboration so we can all work with each other. And lastly, it takes care of those things that nobody in their own silos wants to take care of, but somebody has to. And just like the presence of a center is critical for the success of our platform, so is the existence of domain expertise through this platform. Nowadays, many organizations believe that they can become domain agnostic. They believe that through automation and tooling and the emergence of citizen developers and citizen data scientists, they have no need for it. Far from it. If we are to continue to be successful in producing value in our complex world, we need to ensure the support, availability, and direct inclusion of people with deep domain expertise. So what do we do? This event will soon be over. Tomorrow, you will all be back at your respective organizations. Or if you take the day off, or you're traveling on Friday, then if not by tomorrow, definitely by Monday, which is a holiday, so definitely by Tuesday, you will get back to work. So what do we do? First and foremost, be smart. Be egotistical and make your life easier and your bosses happier by taking full advantage of what OpenEarth is making available to you. And by that, I don't only mean the technology. I'm talking about the cumulative effect of the knowledge and skills of people that comprise this community that the technology is making available to you. When you take part in OpenEarth, you're exposed to the outcomes of many smart people. Build on top of them. Second, be proud. Not of the technical things that you're doing. There is a specific sense of pride for those. Not of the code you're deploying. There's also a sense of pride there. But be proud mostly about the impact of those things and of that code to the business and to the rest of the community. Third, be a connector. Connect IT to the business, science to development, ideas to execution, data to analysis, consumers to producers, thinking to doing. And finally, be a team. This is what OpenEarth is truly about. Rely on each other. You're all individuals, but you're guided by common values and you're operating under common approaches. You each may hold a piece of the puzzle that has to be solved. And all of you together have everything you need to be an army and not a mob. And I want to leave you with a thought. This presentation told a story. It was a story mostly about change, how the business changed, how the world changed, and how we have to change and our platforms need to change. But in the end, we have the means, all of us, the scientists, the engineers, and the developers, to constantly maintain our relevance and ultimately succeed in this age of constant change and uncertainty. So I hope that it was also a story of our success. Thank you all so much.